Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, Danger83 here. Today's video is not just going to be a pickups video because I've only got a couple of items to show. It's not going to be a rant either, but I'm not quite sure what it is. I don't want to say warning, advice, just a bit of an experience I had over the last couple of days that I thought now I've got my YouTube channel I can tell you guys, and you can say whether you've had similar experiences or not, because I've not had it in the past. Anyway, I'll get onto that later. I've got my drink here today. It's just squash today. Nice weather, to be fair. My retro cup. Yeah, nice weather today. A lot of people went out doing their first car boots I think today, but I just wasn't in the mood for it, to be fair. I've got a stag do next weekend and I just want to watch what I'm spending really before I go there. Then after that's out of the way, there's plenty of retro picking up to be done there. I'll start with my two pickups. They're both off Shpock, so I'll show you them and I'll tell you about the excitement I had on Friday. First off, it's a PS3 Tekken 6 Hori joystick, nice and clicky. I have since found out, since I picked this up, that it needs a Bluetooth dongle apparently. I'm hoping a standard Bluetooth dongle may work with it, I'm not too sure. But for what I paid for it, it's a pretty little bit of kit to have knocking around, a nice display piece, and as I say, I didn't pay nowhere near what it goes for on eBay. I paid pittance for it really, so nice bit of kit. The other thing I picked up from Shpock as well, I know Gruss Newton collects these magazines, and I just saw a pile of them on Shpock, and I thought I might as well pick them up because no doubt whoever else picks them up will just be a reseller and double the money or whatever on them. And it's a pile of Sonic the Comic. I'm not going to talk about each edition. They're in various stages of conditions. I mean, this one's still got the competition on, but you know, you're talking about magazines that are what now? Best part of 30 years old, so I'll just flick through them. As I say, I know Gruss Newton collects these, so if there's any you see that you want, Gruss, just get in touch, to be fair. As I say, these all come from Shpock. I've noticed that's a Streets of Rage one. They're all from about 93, 94 era, I want to say. I haven't actually checked through all the dates yet. But as I say, they're in not bad condition, to be fair, for their age. I mean, there is a couple that have got dings in them and splits on the spines, but they were kids' comics at the end of the day. They were meant to be read, really. So, I mean, there's a lot of the charts and tips and stuff on Sega games as I've had a quick flick through, so I won't mind having a quick read through them, to be fair. So, that's basically most of them, nearly all done. Oh, if you wonder why I'm wearing my hat, it's because when I was at Doncaster I was wearing my hat, and it's apparently a really cunning disguise according to TootyUk. I must look totally different in this hat. So now I'm wearing my hat. If anyone ever sees me, either hat or hatless, please say hello, and I'll be more outgoing to do the same, because I saw a few YouTubers and I didn't say anything, to be fair. So I think that's the first edition, that one there. For some reason I think I've seen on eBay that's the first edition. And the last couple now, and that's the last one. I hope you could see all them because I was trying to balance them and look at my screen as well at the same time, hoping you could see them all. Right, while we're talking about Shpock, I agreed via Shpock last week, it was over a week period that I agreed to pick up a bundle of retro stuff. There was a big box Conan game for the PC. I didn't know much about that. I know there was a couple of SNES controllers, a couple of PlayStation 1s, PlayStation 2, and a pile of PlayStation 2 games, and various other items. I want to say there was a PS1 gun as well. I mean, everything that was in there is, I can't remember everything. And he said he'd also got some more that I could have once I picked up. And with Shpock, you put in an offer, they accept it, and then once you confirm it, it becomes legally binding. And I said to the guy, I'm not going to click confirm because I can't collect it till Friday. I said, so if you can sell it before then, I understand. Like, because with work, it was a 35-mile trip, so you're talking 70-mile trip there and back. And I said to the bloke, I said, look, I'm not going to confirm just because I want to give you the chance to sell it if you can sell it quicker, to be honest. And anyway, he didn't sell it, so he was messaging me Friday during the day while I was at work, and I said, I'll be finishing about 1 because I work in the building trade, so we always have early days on a Friday. And he said, yeah, sound, can you be there for 2:30? I mean, it was tight. I got home, I didn't even have a shower, just changed my clobber so I didn't go in my car dirty, and I drove to the destination. I'm not going to give out too much because I don't want to be the sort of person who names and shames people, and I don't want too much hassle in my YouTube channel. To be fair, I'm just letting you guys know what happened. So I got there and it was about 2:15. So I pulled at the address, and to be fair, I looked at the address, and I'm no snob. I grew up on a council estate, I live on a council estate now. But I pulled up, and there's a few times on Shpock I've pulled up and I thought, I'm pulling up in areas here where no one knows where I am. You know, I haven't told anyone the address where I'm going. I said, oh, and I'm just here. And luckily it was the middle of the day. I mean, to be fair, I've pulled up at places on Shpock at 9 o'clock on a night, and then they're not the most pleasant looking places to come and collect video games. So anyway, I knocked on the door. It was like an upstairs downstairs sort of setup. Like the one number was downstairs, the other number was upstairs. And the lad from downstairs answered. I said, oh, I'm looking for such and such. He said, oh, that's upstairs. He said, they're in. So I kept knocking the door. There was no answer. So I went and sat back in my car. Thought I'd send the guy a message. So I sent him a couple of messages saying, look, I'm here. And I could see the curtains upstairs opening and people looking down at me. And there was real like argument and row coming from there. I was like thinking, oh God, I only want to collect some video games and go home. You know what I mean? So anyway, I gave it 20-25 minutes. It was about 20 to 3 I pulled away. I just like thought, you know what, forget it, I really can't be that bothered. You know, they're obviously taking the mick, they've wasted my time sort of thing. So I drove off, and literally just as I was getting back on the motorway, it's blooming warm in here today, I'm sweating. Just as I got back on the motorway, it was like I had a message saying, come back, I'm here now. And I'm like, you know what, I can't be bothered with that. I'm going home now. You know, I've been here, you've messed me about. I mean, it's all to be seen on Shpock. If like you ever look up at a bundle that's in a certain area, the conversation's public for everyone to be seen. I was quite fair with him, and he wanted me to come back, and I thought, nah, it just seemed dodgy to me. You know, it sounded like there was a house full of people having an argument, and I'm just turning up to buy video games. And I was thinking, and it's just made me a bit wary, thinking, you know, was it worth it? You know, I mean, perhaps the fact that I pulled up out of my car and I'm the best part of 6 foot and 16 stone, I weren't the nerdy sort of geek that they thought was turning up to pick up video games, really. I don't know. I might be being a bit cynical like my mate Harper says I am. But I've heard of it happening before. There's a guy who I watch his YouTube channels called Pro Assassin, and he's had like people just messing him about. I'm like, I just don't see the point of it. I really don't. You know, it was a 70-mile round trip, so it cost me the best part of 10 quid in my car to go there and back just to get these video games. And I'm like thinking, you know, I didn't really need, you know, I wouldn't have gone there if it weren't such a big bundle sort of thing. If it had just been a couple of games, I wouldn't have bothered, but it was a big bundle, I thought it was worth it. But when I got home, I checked his account anyway, like, obviously because we carried on having a conversation. I was saying, look, I'm not coming back now. I'm not doing another 70-mile round trip to pick up some video games. You've had your chance, you've messed me about. And I noticed he got 1 review and it was 5 stars. So I was thinking, oh, I'll click on that. And the guy who bought, I think it was a Dreamcast bundle off him, said, eventually got the stuff, didn't think the deal was going to happen. The guy didn't answer his phone. And I thought, what sort of person wants to sell this stuff? You arrange to meet somewhere and then they're not there. I mean, it was just beyond me. I mean, to be fair, I should have known, like, the letterbox was all smashed up and the front door had a foothole in it. That's the sort of place it was I turned up to be honest. And I probably should be a bit more wary where I'm going, or at least leave an address in my house or something to say where I'm going, because I turn up at these places sometimes. I mean, I don't judge a book by a cover, because I've turned up and the outside of the house has looked absolutely battered, and I've gone inside and it's immaculate. That's where I picked my arcade cabinet up from. Really nice place. So, you know, I judge people on how I find them. But yeah, I just turn up at some places that are a bit intimidating, really, even for a bloke of my age and size. So I'm just letting people on YouTube, like, be aware, like, you know, when you're going to fetch these things, especially off sites like this, because there's clearly idiots out there who just want to mess you about. And on another note, when I looked on his thing, you've got a list of what they're selling, and it looks like he'd sold part of the bundle. He'd agreed to me, like the 2 PlayStation, the PS2, and the exact same list of games. So I said to him, I said, why didn't you say you'd sold some of the bundle and I wouldn't have bothered coming? And he was going, I haven't sold nothing, mate. I'm like, so what's the chances of you having same two PlayStations with the memory card, same colours in the same place, a PS2 and a list of games that's exactly the same? And he was just having none of it, saying, oh, the only reason I didn't answer is because just my girlfriend was in, she didn't know who you was and all this. I'm like, well, couldn't she just ring you? And he was saying, oh, my battery was dead and all this. So that was that. I don't want to call it a rant, I don't want to call it a moan. I just want people out there to be aware, like, that when you're going to fetch stuff like this, I mean, it's not just video games, anything really you're buying off there, just be wary, just be a bit more careful. Anyway, that's my video for today. Sorry it's been a bit more a bit more depressing than normal, but I just thought it makes a change for me, just showing you all my pickups and stuff, so I thought it'd be a bit different. Anyway, if you like my videos, like, comment, subscribe. I'll put some links to some YouTubers I watch who I think are brilliant, so they'll be in the description below, so have a look, because, you know, I'm all for advertising other people who do great channels. So until then, keep it real, keep it retro.